right, welcome into the high noon edition of Pugs and Company, heard each and every day from noon to 2 right here on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Check out all the shows that Radio Misfits offers. I'm sure that you'll find something that you like. There's a whole crazy... Oh, look at that. YouTube letting me know that I'm on the air. Thank you, YouTube. Don't need that nonsense. You like? There's a whole... Look. Oh, look at that. I just thought I wanted to try that. I'm on the air. Hear that? YouTube. Don't need that nonsense. Look at this. Hi, YouTube. How are you? Look at that. I just thought I wanted to try that. Hear that? Look at this. Hi, YouTube. How are you? I'm pretty good. How about yourself, Pugs? Look at this. Hi, YouTube. How are you? I'm pretty good. How about yourself? Okay. All right. Well, a little bit of a delay there. We do this show each and every day, Monday through Friday at noon to 2. We also circle back. We do one at night. We call that the Pillow Talk edition. That occurs at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So come one, come all, join us. This show's a bit more utilitarian. That deals with the topics of the day, trending and otherwise, things that people are talking about, current events. That's what we call this. And the Pillow Talk edition is a little bit more light, a little bit more fancy free. Let's bring in my co-host. He is the one, the only, E the artist. Welcome into the show.
Hey, how are you?
What's the matter? I am not doing good. My voice is trashed. I don't know what the hell is going on. I think it's this weather. It'll find itself. It'll right itself. It'll get better. What's the matter? You look down, Charlie Brown.
Oh, I'm not feeling really well.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
Dude, you don't have to be here. You could go lay down. We're good. I really appreciate you, showing up anyway.
Oh, it's okay. I think I can power through it.
You don't look good, bud. You don't look good.
Yeah, I mean, I made carpool this morning, but then I got home and my stomach was hurting me. I got chills and just kind of, I don't know. I think I got a bug or a flu.
Got a question.
Yeah.
If you ever can't make carpool, I could do it. You can just tell me what to do. I could totally do it. And I would like to do it. So if you ever can't make it because you're sick, like if this turns into a thing, dude, you got someone on deck who's ready to step in and open doors for kids. I'd have so much fun. I'd go out of my way to embarrass Dom. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Yeah, it's all right. I put that in the memory bank.
Seriously, no, I mean that with my whole heart, man, because I know that that's like a big part of what you do, and you like doing it, and I would love to do that. I think that would be fun. You would have to just give me the cliff notes, though, like, because I don't know where I'm going even, but I can figure it out. School's off Mockingbird, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's just opening doors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stand in line, open doors.
Well, so
good morning, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Yeah, I got a throat thing going on. I woke up with no voice, so I've been doing about 3 hours of vocal exercises, and I kind of got a little something going. I feel good. I think it's the weather. I slept with the window open last night, which was nice because I had a nice little breeze on me. You know what you've been doing, my friend? You've been burning the candle at both ends. You've been waking up every morning at 6 o'clock. You've been doing this show twice a day. You've been out making the scene as a man about town is wont to do. And this is what it's called. This is the end result of weeks and weeks.
No, maybe.
You do not look good.
I feel like it's something I ate. But I don't know.
Flu? Are you puking?
No, but I feel close to it.
You got a bucket? You got a bucket by you? That'd be good. That'd be good if you were to puke right on air.
No.
All right. Not good for E the artist, but he's pulling yeoman's duty. And I guess you will not be participating on what today is. By the way, it is November the 9th, year of our Lord, 2021. Today is National Go to an Art Museum Day.
Nope.
Nope, not going to be going to an art museum. Your house is kind of an art museum. You got stuff you can look at. You can just walk around and look at some of the cool stuff you got in there. And,
Mm-hmm. Unless they brought my bed to the art museum.
Do we have a good art museum here in town?
Sure.
I know we got like the Nasser, right? Isn't that a sculptor gallery or something? I don't know. I saw that. That's pretty cool.
The Nasser. We have the Dallas Museum of Art. We have the Meadows Museum. We have
We have
the
the
black.
What is the Dallas Museum of Art? I've never been.
It's right next to the Nasher.
Oh, I have been. Yeah, okay. When I lived down there, I think I walked through it. Yes, I have been. Okay.
We have the African American Museum of Art,
Which Mick
which is
Jagger
where
went
Mick Jagger went to.
Yeah.
We have the Meadows Museum over there by SMU.
Which is the best from your professional artist standpoint? Which is the best one? Which one should people go to here on this day of National Go to an Art Museum Day?
We also have Dallas Contemporary. I like Nasher. I like the Nasher, more of a sculpture museum, but it's kind of more modern, abstract.
Okay. All right, so we got options here in Dallas. In Chicago, you can go to the Art Institute. That's the one with the big lions. For those of you listening in Chicago, if you've never been, that place is really awesome. I took my son there, and he thought he was going to be so bored, because kids are like, anyway, yeah. And we spent the whole day there. And he was like, that place is pretty cool. I go, yeah, it is. See, creativity, man. These people are all geniuses. Also got the MoMA. In Chicago, the Museum of Modern Art, which I only went to once, like the week it opened, because I was working in the building next to it, and all the neighbors got invited to take a walk through, but I haven't been there since. So plenty of art museum options for those of you listening in both Dallas and Chicago. So take advantage, won't you? Okay, this probably isn't going to be good for your stomach. It's
Nothing's really good for my stomach at the moment.
It's National Scrapple Day. Scrapple. What is? Should we delve into what Scrapple is? Let's see. Hey, let's play. Let's make E the Artist puke today. Let's see if we can't make him puke. What is Scrapple? This is what Google's good for. No, not Scrap.
I bet you it's giving you Scrabble.
Game in which 2 to 4 players score points by placing tiles, sharing a single letter onto a game board divided into a 15 times 15 grid of squares.
I don't know. I think that as A-P-P-L-E, Scrapple. As someone who relies on their voice for most of their career, I have the worst luck with voice recognition. Do you know how many times I go through a drive-through? And I don't know if this is just happening to me because it's the way I sound, or if this is just something that drive-through operators do to people just to, I don't know, knock them down a few pegs. But I will order food in a drive-through. And I don't know, 2 out of 10 times I'll get drive-through, ma'am. What? Ma'am? What? Man, maybe it's this. Maybe it's this part of my voice that, I don't know. So humiliating. I'm already a fat guy in a drive-through that much food. And now I'm being feminized on top of it.
Yeah, I don't even pay attention to that part. I'm
like,
not.
You would if they misgender identified you based on your voice.
Yeah, they could. By that time, I'm already rolling.
You moneymaker. My moneymaker gets me feminized. I don't like that. Scrapple, also known by the Pennsylvania Dutch name Panhaas, Panhair, is the translation of that, is traditionally a mush of pork scraps and trimmings combined with cornmeal and wheat flour. That ain't good for you. Ooh, and I'm looking at pictures. Okay, I'm looking at pictures of it, and I might eat this. This looks like meatloaf, but with pork.
Nothing sounds good at the moment.
You don't like meatloaf?
Not even pizza. Not even like.
How about a chicken sandwich? How about a nice chicken sandwich?
No, I had that last night. I'm thinking that may be the culprit.
Did you have it after midnight, or did you have it like?
No, I had it right before the game.
All right, because today is National Eat a Chicken Sandwich Day, as well as Scrapple Day. So you've got options for dinner. It's also National Louisiana Day, and I don't understand why Louisiana gets their own day. Why isn't every day? Why every day? Well, I guess we couldn't do every day because it's 365. But when is National Montana Day? But it's National Louisiana Day. So there you go. All right. Well, let's get into the trending topics. We'll try and run through this. He doesn't look that great. I can do the show without him. I really do appreciate him showing up, though. I'm a round of applause for E, who's not feeling well. Today, you know who else isn't feeling well? It is not a good day. It is. See, we're not allowed to play the actual song. Another one bites the dust, so we have to play like bad covers. We've got a celebrity death. Trending #1 across many platforms. Dean Stockwell has died.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Walks with me down the street. In the way I look. No sound but the sound of feet. Machine gun ready.
I love bad covers. Dean Stockwell, dead at 85 years old. Do you know who Dean Stockwell is?
No.
No. Okay. Well, we'll pull up a picture of him for those of you who don't. Everyone should. Dean Stockwell was awesome. Quantum Leap is what he's best known for. He played Al in Quantum Leap. Did you watch Quantum Leap? Probably not, I'm guessing. All right, here's our boy Dean Stockwell. He died of natural causes. 85 years old. Led a good life. There you go. There's our boy. Look at him right there. Do anything for you? Look at him right there. Handsome man. That was back in the Quantum Leap days.
Mm-hmm.
There he is. I know him because I am, as everyone knows, I'm a diehard fan of the show Battlestar Galactica. The reboot, not the original. I don't care about the Lorne Green version. I like the 2000s version of Battlestar Galactica. So good. He played Brother Cavill. He was also in Quantum Leap, but he started acting when he was like 9 years old, like just a little kid. He's one of these guys people always talk about, oh, child stars. They never amount to nothing. Some do. Dean Stockwell's a great example. You got your Dean Stockwells. You got your Ron Howards. You got your Jodie Fosters. So it happens. They don't all end up being Todd Bridges or Danny Monteducci. Sometimes they actually, have adult careers. What else can we say about Dean Stockwell other than, I don't know. That's it. We're good. We're done with Dean Stockwell. That's too bad. I liked him a lot. He was a cool actor. He was in Blue Velvet. Oh my God, he played such a great role in Blue Velvet. He was like the creepy lounge singer guy, but he didn't have a lounge. It was just in his apartment living room, and he was great. I believe he did the version of Blue Velvet. I believe that was, the title of the movie Blue Velvet. David Lynch's incredibly cool 1980s film that was starring Kyle MacLachlan, I want to say, and Isabella Rossellini. But of course, the entire movie was stolen by Dennis Hopper and Dean Stockwell. Dean Stockwell dead today at the age of 85. Also, let's see, what else do we have? Oh, speaking of another one bites the dust, Jim Jones is trending today. Do you remember Jim Jones? Do you
Kool-Aid dude?
Yeah. Inadvertently, Jim Jones contributing one of the great popular culture lines into the American lexicon, actually worldwide, I think. You drink the Kool-Aid. We've all heard, oh, well, you're just drinking the Kool-Aid, to mean that you're believing bullshit, that you're believing something that isn't necessarily true. Jim Jones was a cult leader in the 1970s in San Francisco, and I believe it started in the Bay Area. And he was, he's a very popular cult leader, had this big, crazy, what was the name of his cult? The People's Army, the People's whatever. But he basically formed a cult as this white preacher guy in urban inner city Oakland, California. And his congregation was almost exclusively poor, black, poor inner city black people. And he got into their head, boy, and he literally made them drink the Kool-Aid. He poisoned his entire congregation. He had them all leave America, and they went to Guyana, which, all right, I'm confused about where Guyana is, because I think I always believed Guyana was in Africa, but maybe it's in South America. There's something about that I'm always, or maybe I always thought it was in South America, but then learned that it was at whatever. He took his people out of America, and they went down to Guyana, wherever it is, and they started their own like little country, little thing. And then the United States government, a congressman in California by the name of Leo Ryan, he got onto their scam. They were doing something, crazy illegal, and people were, they were in a cult, so there were a lot of family members that are like, "Where'd my mama go? Go get my mama." So Leo Ryan and a delegation of Americans went down there to try and convince cult leader Jim Jones to let these people all out. And Jim Jones sent an army to the airport and killed everybody, killed Congressman Leo Ryan and somebody who's famous today, somebody who's like famous in politics today was Leo Ryan's aide back then. And it's a woman, and she was shot. I don't know who it is. If you know in the chat room, who is it? Who was Leo Ryan's assistant, who went on to become somebody in recent politics that we all go, oh, like, is it like, maybe it's not like Nancy Pelosi, but I think it's another like California, not Dianne Feinstein. I don't know, somebody. Anyway, why is Jim Jones trending today of all days, decades and decades after his? Because they're making a movie about Jim Jones. They're making a big screen movie. Now, here, look. I think that the definitive Jim Jones movie was already made, and it starred Powers Booth. It was a made-for-TV movie back in the 80s, and it was awesome. Powers Booth as Jim Jones was incredible. In fact, a couple of years back, we had Powers Booth come into the radio show with me and Kelly, and we interviewed him, and the entire interview was just me talking about that movie, and he really loved it because that was just a TV movie he did young in his acting career. And we got into real crazy details about Jim Jones, and Powers Booth was awesome as Jim Jones. But why is Jim Jones trending today? Well, one, because they're making a movie. And Jackie Spire. Thank you, John O'Connor. Congresswoman Jackie Spire. That's who it was. That was Leo Ryan's aide who was shot and didn't die. She survived. That's it. Thank you, Jennifer Blair Martin. Everybody now. Jackie Spire. It's Jackie Spire. So Jim Jones is trending today because they're making a big screen movie about him. And guess who's going to be playing the role of Jim Jones? Which leads us to the next person who's trending today. Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be playing Jim Jones in the new big screen version of the Jim Jones story. Leonardo DiCaprio is reportedly in final talks to star in Jim Jones. The 46-year-old actor is being lined up to play the religious cult leader of the People's Temple. That's what it was, not People's Army. Who was behind the 1978 mass suicide of more than 900 people at his Jonestown settlement in Guyana. The upcoming MGM movie has been written by Venom scribe Scott Rosenberg, and Deadline has reported that DiCaprio is set to take on the lead role. Jones founded the People's Temple, which he promoted as a fully integrated congregation promoting Christian socialism. He did this in 1955, and by the 70s, he had rejected traditional Christianity and claimed to be God himself on earth. He built his commune in Guyana in 74, and 4 years later told his followers to drink flavored Kool-Aid, which was laced with cyanide. 900 people died. So there you go. If you're interested in that story, buddy, you don't have to. You seriously, why don't you go lay down? I really feel, you do so much for me. This is not part of your duties.
Is James coming today?
No, don't worry about it. I got a whole bunch here. We can, you go rest up. Maybe you come back at Pillow Talk, and trust me.
All right, if you can do it, I'm not much help today.
Let's prayers up for my guy E. Look at him. Let's hope he gets well.
All right.
Seriously, go lay down. He's been burning the candle at both ends. This guy just going completely nuts. All right, so we'll just do the rest of the show all by myself. Hey, you know what I didn't do? I didn't do our moment of joy. I forgot to do the moment of joy. I'm so worried about E over there. All right, let's do this. Give you a little something to be happy about since we just talked about Jim Jones and drinking the Kool-Aid. All right, here we go. We'll watch this. This is a good one. Here we go. I think we're sharing it. We are. Okay, here you go. Check this out. So this is a guy. He was driving down the road, and I don't know. That's a sloth. You see that? See this thing here? That's a sloth. Watch this guy driving down the road because a sloth was clogging up traffic. So what does he do? He wins the Humanitarian of the Day award. Look at this, our little sloth.
Ai, filhote.
Look at that guy. Look at that little guy. Okay, why are sloths called sloths? Isn't that a terrible name? Doesn't that sound like an animal that would be gooey? A sloth sounds like something that would be disgusting. This little guy is adorable, and they're slow. Apparently, that's their whole bit. That's why, why are you sloth-like? Well, what do you mean? Adorably cute and lovable? No, slow and lazy. Watch what he does. Picks up the sloth. Look at all the cars behind him, clogging up traffic.
Foi na árvore, que ele abraça a árvore.
He's going to put the sloth on the tree. Now watch this. You don't think there's a connection between humans and animals? Watch this. Not only did this adorable little sloth not fight this, which honestly might have been the part that would stop me from, because I don't know anything about sloths. I might be like, ooh, don't they have claws? Don't they what if this guy suddenly but I guess they're slow. I guess that would be my second thought. Aren't they known to be slow? Like, how quick would the reaction time if I'm trying to save his life? But I could also see myself getting my face clawed off, But this guy, look at him. Watch the connection between human and animal here. This is so adorable. So he rescues the sloth. He puts the little sloth on the tree. And watch what happens next.
Ai, tão bebezinho, olha.
Little sloth, and he rubs his little belly. Okay, little sloth guy. And the sloth is like,
Gente, não é muito. Olha, olhando.
where you going?
Obrigado.
Come
Olha.
back, my friend. Come on, man. Come on. Look, he puts his little hand out.
Olha.
Like, high five. Thank you for saving my life. Come on. Come on. Tell me that's not a moment of joy. A little bond between human and animal. I love that. Let's see here. I'm just going to check the chat room here since I need other people to talk to. All right, we get it. You all care about E. You stop that. Yeah, April, that was so cute. That is just adorable. All right, back to the trending topics. All the things that are happening in today. So we talked about Dean Stockwell. He passed away. Very sad. We talked about Jim Jones. He passed away too. That's not sad. But the 900 people that did. I'm going to say this to you, the fine listeners in the chat room today. I have always wanted to be a cult leader. Always. I just thought, what a gig that is. I mean, I don't necessarily want, and maybe this is why it would never work for me. I don't necessarily want to present myself as God on earth. Maybe a prophet. I'll say it. I talk to God. People do that all the time. But here's the problem. I think to be a cult leader, you have to actively work at attracting really stupid, gullible people. You know what I mean? I mean, you gotta be. He says he's God on earth. I don't know that the people that I want to attract to what I do are necessarily that gullible. It's always been the hiccup in my plan to be a cult leader. I mean, I would love, please. Hey, you know what? We got a big, nice little 1%er compound here. If I could convince E, and maybe now is the time because he's sick and he's not in his right mind. We could put tents all over the backyard. We could have like 100 people living out here full time, and then I could walk out on my balcony here at the 1%er guest house, and I could give my sermons. Although would they be sermons? See, that's the problem. Stupid, gullible people are not who I want to attract. I want to attract you. You people are fine. You people are smart. You engage in critical thinking. You're not going to fall for any bullshit when I suddenly, out of my guest house that I'm living for free in my rich friend's compound, you're not going to believe that I am somehow in touch with God. Because if I am, God ain't listening. That's the flaw in my cult leader plan. I'd love to be a cult leader. All right, also trending today, not necessarily a deal here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, but certainly nationwide in other big cities. Most notably, it's looking like some East Coast, Chicago, and San Francisco. Xfinity is down. So if you're one of the people who listen to this show in Chicago, which there are a few of you, you're probably not able to do that today because what is Xfinity? Xfinity is like, I think here in Dallas, we have Time Warner Cable. Don't even get me started on Time Warner Cable. I think I'm banned from Time Warner Cable for life. I don't think that's anything I could ever get again. I am in good standing with AT&T, so that would have to be my go-to for any sort of internet and all that stuff. Time Warner Cable here in Dallas is just so bad. Oh, it's the worst. But that is what Xfinity is. Comcast Xfinity is to a lot of the other big cities around the country. Xfinity has, let's see here. What does it say? Let me just pull this up. Oh, this is funny. Yeah, Xfinity is out all over the country. And here, we'll show this one. Why not? Snoop Dogg is pissed. Snoop Dogg made a video. He ain't happy with the current state of Xfinity being out. When you've inconvenienced the Snoop Dogg, you know that you've got the people against you. Here you go. Here's a little video of Snoop Dogg.
Fix your shit. Whoever the fuck y'all fucking server is fucking whack, man. Fix your shit. Whoever the fuck y'all fucking server is fucking whack, man.
All right. So there's Snoop Dogg chiming in on the Xfinity outage. He's been inconvenienced, and you don't want to do that to a national treasure like the Snoop Dogg. All right, let's see. Where else are we? Jennifer Blair Martin says a lot of people that get pulled into cults are bright people, but in very vulnerable places due to other factors. Cult leaders look for people in bad situations, abuse, drug addiction, etc., to gain their following. I'm sure that's all a very nice thing to think, but if you believe that some dude in some shitty church front in Oakland, California is actually God, there's more going on with you than just being vulnerable. That is a lack of critical thinking. That is a lack of questioning. I mean, I see what you're saying. Jeff says my Time Warner rants are the best. You may have heard them over the years. You've been a part of the show. I've never been a fan of the Time Warner offering. All right, let's see what else is trending here. Google, there we go. Okay, so we've done that. Michael Che, Saturday Night Live's Michael Che. He does the, I think he pretty much only does the Weekend Update there with Colin Jost. He of the Scarlett Johansson marriage. Michael Che is very funny. I like Michael Che, but boy, oh boy, is he a provocative stand-up comedian. He's all over today because he's promoting his new stand-up comedy special, which will debut, I assume, on Netflix on November the 16th. Shame on the Devil. And apparently he made the rounds. He went on The View. He was on Jimmy Fallon last night. So there you go. Michael Che is trending. However, he's not the only Saturday Night Live person who's trending today. Cecily Strong is trending today. Now, I don't really know why Cecily Strong is trending, because I delved into the threads that concern her and why she's trending, and it seems to be just a whole cavalcade of reasons. Typically what that means when a celebrity starts trending, it means that they've got a new PR or somebody new doing their digital stuff, and they're just showing off. They're showing, see, I can get you trending for absolutely no reason, and she's trending. But one of the things that she was trending about, do you know how much people on Saturday Night Live make? I mean, why do people just leave Saturday Night Live when they think that they don't really make all that much? I found this trending under the Cecily Strong thread first, and I confirmed it too. Well, confirmed it as best as I can through Google. So take a guy like who we talked about yesterday, James Austin Johnson, who's doing the new Trump thing on Saturday Night Live. He's a first-year cast member on Saturday Night Live. First-year cast members make $7,000 per episode. And you think, whoa, hey, man, that's $7,000 a week. That's not bad. Yeah, except they don't do an episode every week. They only do 18 episodes. So that comes out to like $120,000 or something like that. $7,000 per episode to be on Saturday Night Live for a first-year cast member. And you're only getting 18 of those checks a year, $126,000. Don't get me wrong, that would change my life. But that ain't a whole lot of money to be a celebrity in New York. You can't live in Manhattan. You can't live walking distance to where Saturday Night Live does their show on $126,000 a year. That's crazy. Second-year cast members on Saturday Night Live make $8,000. $8,000. So $7,000 per episode. Second-year cast members make $8,000 per episode. And then after 5 years on the show, you make $15,000 per episode, which, $15K per episode is good. But again, that means you've been on Saturday Night Live for 5 years. You're a television star in New York City for 5 years, and you're making like $350,000 a year, which, now at least you can live close to the building, right? You can have an apartment in New York on that. That's almost $1,000 a day. Well, I guess with taxes, that would probably be a lot less. But you know what I'm saying. Excuse me. Like I said, my voice is bad as well. Man, I hope E doesn't have coronavirus. That just popped into my head. He's vaxxed, so, it's not going to kill him. But holy cow. How close was I to E in the last how close was my son to E in the last couple of days? Not very. Yeah, not very. We were okay. Yeah, I think we're fine. But man, I hope he's all right. And I'm just glad that he's vaxxed because maybe this will be the worst of it. Back to Saturday Night Live. So $15K per episode for people who have been there for 5 years. And that's where Cecily Strong would be. Members who have been there the longest, it says, this is again the pay scale on Saturday Night Live. Members who have been there the longest may make up to $25K per episode. So that's like someone like Kenan Thompson, who has been there forever, right? So he's probably making $25K per episode, if that. Maybe he's even making more. So that's, you're all right. You're still under $1 million, though, for being a television star. There are dudes in radio that used to make twice that, $2 million a year. To think that you're, not making that much. Okay. What else here do we have? Oh, okay. So it did the math for me. First year SNL people make $126K per year. They did the math for me. That was nice of them to do that. Then the other reason that I thought was interesting why Cecily Strong is trending is because she got... Apparently they're dragging up her history, and she was a bad girl. Cecily Strong is the one we played the clip yesterday of the new Trump. She played Judge Jeanine Pirro. She's really funny. She's great. I'm a big fan of hers. I actually think she's stronger than Kate McKinnon, but don't say that out loud because the Kate McKinnon army will come for you. I just think Cecily Strong is really good. She got kicked out of high school, apparently, in her sophomore year for dealing weed. Cecily Strong. So now, when you think about her on Saturday Night Live, and she's doing a bunch of movies and all that, that's the other thing about the Saturday Night Live people who are making only $7K per episode. There's other outside money that they can make, like you see like a lot of like Kate McKinnon doing a whole bunch of, I guess she's not a cast member anymore, but she does like, TV commercials and, stuff like that. You do appearances, some club. They can get a Saturday Night Live guy. You make $10,000 for that. And you go out there and you wave from the DJ booth, that kind of stuff. So there are other ways. It's a platform that allows you opportunities to do other things. Guest shots on sitcoms. It raises your profile as an actor. So just because they only make $7,000 an episode doesn't mean that that's all they're making. But still, if that is all they're making, it comes down to like $126,000 a year, and you can't really make that stretch very far in Manhattan. So Cecily Strong got kicked out of high school for dealing weed in her sophomore year, which is fun. We also, I think we learned on last week's Saturday Night Live that Cecily Strong had an abortion when she was 23. She did this very controversial bit on the news where she talked about abortion, but she shrouded it by pretending to be a clown, talking about clown abortions, when obviously she was talking about women, but she was using clown in place. That's just satire. It was a very complicated bit. A lot of people got upset about it, but she revealed what I believe was serious, that she herself, Cecily Strong, had an abortion at 23 years old. Kicked out of Oak Park River Forest High School for weed, dealing weed. That's Oak Park River Forest High School is one of these things whenever a new high school comes on the scene, I always Wikipedia the high school, because every high school has a Wikipedia page. Everyone, like even like the smallest, of brand new high schools, they get their own Wikipedia page. And in the high schools that have been around a while, there is always an alumni section where you just click on that and it shows you all the people who attended your high school. Now, my high school, Andrew High School in Tinley Park, Illinois, although sometimes it's listed as Orland Hills, but I'm pretty sure Tinley Park has always been in, Andrew's always been in Tinley Park. We got nobody. We've been around since the 70s, and we got a couple of wrestlers, WWE guys who weren't even stars, and then we got like an American Idol finalist, and we got nobody in our high school, right? I don't know who you got in your high school, but go feel free to check out your high school on Wikipedia and see who the famous alumni are. Check out the famous alumni from Oak Park River Forest High School, the school that kicked Cecily Strong out for dealing weed her sophomore year. We'll just start off from the top with Ernest Hemingway. Dude, there are high schools named after Ernest Hemingway, and he actually went to that high school. That's a good one. Boy, when you start with Ernest Hemingway, you're going to be like, Ernest Hemingway, Hugh Hefner, Ray Kroc, Homer Simpson, Dan Castellaneta, the guy who voices Homer Simpson. Homer Simpson went to your high school. That in and of itself should be a huge deal. But when you got Hugh Hefner, Ray Kroc, founder of McDonald's, and Ernest Hemingway, you kind of get knocked down. Kathy Griffin, all right. Cecily Strong, we already talked about her. Thomas Lennon from Reno 911. Ted Levine. Now, who's Ted Levine? Oh, you may not know who the actor Ted Levine is, but you big fat girl. Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Ted Levine. They got the killer from Silence of the Lambs. They got Ludacris. Ludacris went to River High School with, and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, who was an actor in the 80s. So what I did was I pulled up the high school that we go to here, the Highland Park High School, because I thought, oh my God, Highland Park High School here in the One Percenter compound, that's got to have a whole bunch of famous people. Jane Mansfield, Angie Harmon, and Stephanie March. Okay, not one, but two central cast members from the Law and Order shows. Stephanie March and Angie Harmon both went to Highland Park. And then a bunch of sports guys. Also a bunch of rich guys, but I'm not going to mention the rich guys that went to Highland Park High School because they're all like, their daddies were rich, so they just went on to become rich because they inherited $1 billion. Sports stars, Clayton Kershaw, Matthew Stafford, Doak Walker, Bobby Night Train Lane. Are you forgetting one, Pugs? I am. And John Hinckley Jr. That's right, a favorite here on the show. John Hinckley Jr. also attended Highland Park High School. All right, so that's why Cecily Strong is trending, because of money made on Saturday Night Live and the fact that she had an abortion and the fact that she was kicked out of high school for weed. But hey, she turned it around. So a note to all you parents out there. If you think your kid is just a total deadbeat at 15 years old, you think they're again a deadbeat at 23, plenty of time to turn it around, man. Plenty of time. Let's see what else is trending. We'll go through these here. Twitter Blue is trending. I don't know. I saw this trending. Twitter Blue. Apparently, Twitter is not satisfied with the way it's working now. Twitter now has, or they're rolling out a subscription service, like a pay Twitter service. And based on the comments, all I can tell is that it allows you to change your background and, add colors and stuff like that. That's $3 a month. $3 a month to be a subscriber to the Twitter Blue feed. I don't understand. We'll see. So Twitter Blue is trending. Tim Cook is trending alongside Tim Apple. Remember when the president called him Tim Apple? Tim Cook is the CEO of Apple, and the president called him Tim Apple. So Tim Cook and Tim Apple are both trending side by side. Tim Cook, the chief executive of Apple, is sharing his vision for the future of privacy, payments, and the internet in general on the first day of Deal Books Online Summit. I got no clue what any of that stuff means. I'd love to help you out with that, but I have absolutely no idea. Let's see here. Yeah, we don't need to get into that stuff. All right, so let's go back up. What else do we have here? Who else is trending today? So we covered all of these. Delve into. Yeah. Share the people in your high school that are famous. Who'd you go to high school with that's famous? Jeff Glenn has. Okay, now I'm confused. Jeff Glenn, my high school country star Gary Morris, and Big Dick Hunter. Hey, you got Big Dick. That's good. I don't know. Let's see. Let me see if I can scroll through here. Okay. All right. So not a lot of people with famous people from their high schools. That's all right. Me neither. Join the club. Okay. In my high school, Gina Galoxin. Like, she's a American Idol finalist. She went on to nothing. She went on to like nothing. So okay. There's divisive stuff that's trending today that, me, I don't want to get into that stuff, but we're going to have to get into something that I don't intend to be divisive, because truth should never be divisive. But unfortunately, we live in an era where it is. Natalie Wood is trending today. Natalie Wood. Now, who's Natalie Wood? I'm a youngster. I don't know. Natalie Wood was an actress. She's a big actress. Boy, we talked about Dean Stockwell being a child star who was able to spin that into a grown-up career. Natalie Wood was another great example. I can't believe I didn't, just thinking of it now. Natalie Wood started acting when she was just like a little baby. I think her first big role was in Miracle on 34th Street. She was Virginia. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. She was the little girl in Miracle on 34th Street. And she went on to do all kinds of things. Okay, so I mentioned Miracle on 30. All right, let's see. What were some Natalie Wood movies that she... Rebel Without a Cause. That's kind of a film classic. West Side Story, of course. She was the star in West Side Story. The Searcher she was in. Splendor in the Grass. She was in Bob and Carol, Ted and Alice, which was a 70s swinger movie. She was in that. She did a whole bunch of stuff. And she died in 1981, I want to say. She drowned. She was married to Robert Wagner of Heart to Heart fame, RJ, as his friends call him. Robert Wagner, okay, Pugs, I'm dropping name here. Robert Wagner, we used to interview on the alt rock station that I was on back in Chicago back in the day. We interviewed him like twice, and he came in studio both times. Just a fabulous guy. He was so good. He was up until I met a couple of other people that I really enjoyed in my early broadcast career. Robert Wagner set the standard for coolest, most down-to-earth, most normal celebrity that I had ever had contact with. Robert Wagner was look, I guess his whole bit is that he's handsome and he's charming. He was both handsome and really charming. He was just so nice to everybody. And he's a person of interest in the murder of his wife, Natalie Wood, who back in 1981, her death was considered an accidental drowning, and the case was closed. And then for years and years and years, Natalie Wood's little sister, Lana Wood, who was also an actress, although not quite as big as her sister, Lana Wood has been doing these investigations, and every couple of years it pops up that, Natalie Wood's murder, which is what I believe it was, because I've actually looked into this extensively. Natalie Wood's death, we'll just call it for the purpose of this conversation. There's more to it than what LA County Coroner Thomas Noguchi, coroner to the stars, closed the book on back in 1981. So here's the situation. Natalie Wood was on her husband's yacht, her husband, Robert Wagner, handsome and charming, with Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken was there. Natalie Wood and Christopher Walken were doing a movie together. So I guess during a break from filming, they were like, hey, let's go on RJ's yacht and we'll cruise around Catalina Island and we'll have fun. So he went. So the people on the boat were Robert Wagner, his wife, Natalie Wood, and Natalie Wood's co-star, Christopher Walken, and the boat's captain, the dude who drove the boat, some guy named Darwin or something. I don't know, something like that. Like I said, I'm familiar with the story, but just not off the top of my head. I don't have all the crucial details. So around 9 p.m., Robert Wagner went to bed, retired to the executive suites there on the yacht, without his wife. And his wife stayed up on deck. Christopher Walken also retired to his chambers there on the yacht, which is, always struck me as a little bit weird. Christopher Walken's going to bed at 9 o'clock. You're on a yacht. You guys aren't yacht partying. 9 o'clock at night. Is the sun even down in the summer at 9 o'clock at night? What are you doing going to bed? So then, again, Natalie stayed up. And then a couple of hours later, some people on a nearby boat reported that they heard a female voice screaming for help. So the sun rises in the next morning and, hey, where's Natalie? Hey, Natalie never came to bed last night. Whatever. And so they do a search, and apparently they find her body. Natalie Wood was found drowned, dead of drowning and hypothermia. That was the official result of it. But now all these years later, they're like, let's look at this more, because there are details. Like, for instance, here's the thing about Natalie Wood. The Hollywood system, the celebrity system back then, she was the cute little girl from Miracle on 34th Street. She was the sexy girlfriend in Rebel Without a Cause. She was it Maria in West Side Story? I don't know. But she was a beloved actress. But Natalie Wood was a drinker, like a hard drinker. Like in today's Hollywood world, she probably would have been in and out of rehab and, all that stuff. And her career kind of stalled out in the 70s because her looks were fading and she was drinking excessively. So the first round of stories that came out about the death of Natalie Wood was, she got drunk and fell off the boat. Well, but then it started to be revealed that apparently Robert Wagner was incredibly jealous about the relationship between Natalie Wood and not only, well, actually I shouldn't say not only, but was jealous about the relationship between Natalie Wood and Christopher Walken. He thought there was something going on there, right? So Christopher Walken was interviewed by police. He was totally cleared. Nobody suspects Christopher Walken in anything that has to do with this. But then there's also these stories about Natalie Wood and the ship's captain. Now, the only two people that were awake were the captain and Natalie Wood. Remember, both Robert Wagner and Christopher Walken had retired to their chambers on the yacht. And the captain was supposedly, he didn't know anything about it and all this stuff. But it's been revealed that there was probably a relationship going on between Natalie Wood and the yacht captain. And by the way, the yacht captain has now, years later, he's come out and he said, I totally lied to the police back then. I did not tell them all the things that actually happened. For instance, late at night, an enraged Robert Wagner emerged from his chambers demanding to know where his wife was, and they couldn't find her. They looked all over the boat and she wasn't there. Apparently the dinghy was missing, so they just thought that Natalie got drunk, got on the dinghy boat, and just went to go party with some other people who weren't going to bed at 9 o'clock at night. One of the reports from the ship's captain today, or recently, that he didn't tell the police back then, was that he tried to turn the searchlights on the boat to search the perimeter of the boat to see if anybody was in the water, or to see if they could see the dinghy. And Robert Wagner expressly said, no, don't do that. And they were a volatile couple. They had been married and divorced, and then they remarried, and, they were not in a good place at the time of her disappearance. So there was, a lot of, I guess, motive, you might say, between this couple. And also, and I don't mean to say this, but I found this out too. And I this is one of the things that made me, she was a heavy drinker, and she was kind of, she wasn't, I'll just say this because she's dead. She wasn't the image that everybody thought of her. And if you remember a show from a couple of weeks ago, I told you about the most difficult women that I've had experience with in my life. Did you know that Natalie Wood was a Russian immigrant? She was 100% Russian. She was a Russian girl. She was a her name is like Natalia Krasnochenko or something. Natalie Wood is a stage name, but so, I met RJ, Russian girl. They're already violent. I'm not putting this on that. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is there's a lot more that goes into this story than I think what people believed about this, golden sweetheart of Hollywood. So anyway, that's why it's all trending today. There's a new book out by Lana Wood, another new book that talks about, the death of Natalie Wood and how Lana is just flat out calling Robert Wagner, who's now like 90. I mean, Robert Wagner's like super old. He's now calling her let's click on this and see what it is. Boy, Natalie Wood was beautiful. We're already looking at these pictures. She really was a beautiful woman. If you're unfamiliar, you need to check her out. We'll likely never know with certainty what actually happened the night Hollywood actress Natalie Wood drowned at 43 years old. We know several key facts, of course. Wood vanished from her yacht, the Splendor. I got that right off the top of my head. During a visit to Catalina Island with husband Robert Wagner and friend Christopher Walken. Her body was found the morning of November 29th in the water off the island. Coroner to the stars, this guy Thomas Noguchi. He like all the people that died in Hollywood. He was the guy that from Belushi to there's a whole bunch of them. Natalie Wood. He was always the guy. He was always the coroner. Coroner to the stars. Thomas Noguchi called her death an accidental drowning, and police closed the case 2 weeks later. While her drowning was indeed once considered an accident, investigators have reopened the case and later labeled it suspicious. But how did we get from point A to point B and point C through A? Follow all the twists and turns of this head-scratching case in a new book, Little Sister, My Investigation into the Mysterious Death of Natalie Wood by Lana Wood. Okay, so here are a couple of fun facts from the book. Lana Wood and Robert Wagner were never fond of each other. In fact, Lana Wood claims that she told her sister that he was bad for her and that they weren't a good couple, and that Robert Wagner had Lana Wood's career essentially ended in Hollywood. Nothing she could do for him. Let's see here. Natalie and Wagner were married not once but twice, even after allegations that he had continuously cheated on her. Natalie Wood said at the time, "Sometimes the devil you know is better than the devil you don't." Doesn't really sound like a good reason to marry, but okay. Another point here from the book. I'm having trouble with my scrolls. Yeah, this is a big one. This is also trending. I wasn't even sure I wanted to go into this, but this is trending alongside with Natalie Wood too. And I won't tell you the name, I'll just tell you the story. Apart from the drowning, the new book offers other moments in the sisters' lives, including an ugly tale of alleged sexual abuse. For decades, it's been one of Hollywood's darkest rumors. A young teenage Natalie Wood was sexually assaulted by a top movie star more than twice her age when she met with him at a hotel in Los Angeles. You know, you think that current modern actresses have Me Too stories. Imagine being an actress in Hollywood, a young, beautiful woman in Hollywood in 1950. Imagine what that... I mean, that's just pure barbarism, I got to imagine. So for years, it's been a Hollywood rumor. I remember that, okay, so Mom and Lana dropped Natalie, young teenage Natalie, off at the Hotel Marmont, or Chateau Marmont, which is a famous hotel there in Hollywood. I remember that Natalie looked especially beautiful when Mom and I dropped her off that night. The incident happened in the summer of 1955, around the time that Natalie was filming The Searchers. The meeting with this big-name Hollywood celebrity had been arranged by their mother, Maria Zakharenko. That's it. That's the last name. Her real name is Natalia Zakharenko, who thought that many doors might be thrown open for her with just a nod from this famous, handsome movie star. Do you know who the movie star is? Kirk Douglas. This book is calling out screen legend Kirk Douglas for raping Natalie Wood, a teenage Natalie Wood, and oh my God. No, thank you. Michael Douglas, the son, of course, we all know Michael Douglas, the son of Kirk Douglas, was asked for comment on these stories, and classy. He was always classy. He said that the only response from Michael Douglas in response to the rumors at Deadline, when Deadline is a journalism term, was, quote, "May they both rest in peace." It's not going to get into it. It's not going to dignify it. This is dad. I can get that. But holy crap. I mean, that's a flamethrower of a rumor. So, all right, there you go. If you're interested in this story, as I have been for a lot of years, you might want to check out Lana Wood's new book where she's naming names. Apparently, she's got the receipts. All right, that's why Natalie Wood is trending. Let's see, what else do we have here? We're running out of time. We might do this a little bit. We might do a little bit shorter show than usual here at noon. Or, I mean, I suppose we can find something else to do. See, because the next thing that I want to get into here, it's going to make me mad. This is like not happy stuff. Okay, so again, I'm not trying to be divisive here because this is not about right or left. This is not about Republicans, Democrats. This is not about Trump or Biden. I vomit a little when I say either of those people's names. But this is about knowingly misrepresenting facts. This is about knowingly lying about shit. Now, one of the examples is from decades ago. But this example, the one that I'll start out with, is just from last year or like 2 years ago. So Kellyanne Conway came out of her hole. Remember who we're dealing with here. Kellyanne Conway famously, when confronted with facts that did not agree with her talking points, offered up the phrase, well, we just have alternative facts. that was the phrase that she coined, alternative facts. You know, when you tell somebody that what they're saying isn't true, and here are the facts backing up why they're not true, and the response is, well, we just have alternative facts. And if you look up that video, she knows she's lying. She's looking dead into a camera, and she even does like a bit of a hair flip after it because she's uncomfortable with what she's just said. So that's who we're dealing with. So Kellyanne came out of her hole, and she apparently made a statement recently in some interview. I can tell you flat out, I've been to the grocery store. There are some supply chain issues. There are some things the prices seem to be going up on. Shelves are not bare. Okay. So, you know, this over dramatization of the situation as it stands today could get worse. God forbid. I mean, we're coming up on, big shopping holidays. We'll see. But right now, it's not like the shelves are freaking bare, but it's a talking point. It's a talking point for one side of the political aisle. And it's that this is a terrible, the worst supply chain situation that we have ever been in. So Kellyanne came on TV yesterday and she said there was no supply chain crisis when we were in office for 4 years. The shelves were always stocked and people could always get whatever they wanted. This is just a year ago or 2 years ago. She's out here just completely, come on, don't you remember no toilet paper? Don't you remember people wiping their ass with coffee filters because you couldn't get paper products? Don't you remember people making hand sanitizers in their garage because they couldn't get hand sanitizers? There were pictures of nurses or the PPE crisis where they couldn't even get masks. School kids all over the country were making masks for nurses. Nurses were going to work in trash bags, covering themselves because there were no ventilators. There weren't enough COVID tests. There was run on food. Gasoline in Chicago hit $5 a gallon. Come on. That was just 2 years ago. You can't come on and say that never happened. I mean, we all remember this, and I know why they do it. They do it because they're trying to court a younger group of voters who maybe did not live, or they lived through it, but they don't necessarily remember in detail what was happening. So to claim that in the early days of the pandemic, there wasn't an incredible shortage of all kinds of things that we needed. That's just a lie. So that's what Kellyanne Conway brought out yesterday. But that's not the one that I'm really upset about. You want to see the one that I'm really upset about? There is this guy who is one of the most evil people on the planet. And I'm glad that we're doing it here because I don't want to bring this up on the nighttime show because I got a feeling that my buddy, my pal, James Parker is somehow a fan of this clown. But Dennis Prager, who is one of these AM talk radio guys, who just, I mean, that's the whole reason that I don't do mainstream radio anymore is because I don't want to do talk radio on AM. And that's really all the options that are left for me. You have to be such a terrible person. Well, actually, now that I think about it, it does kind of fall in line with my desire to be a cult leader. If I really wanted to be a cult leader, I could probably go into AM talk radio. So that's where this Dennis Prager guy comes from. So he went on one of these crazy newfangled news outlets that try to look like they're a legacy media with people who actually took ethics classes and journalism courses and all that, and they're not. They're just angry people who talk well, and they're put on TV, and everyone is led to believe that this is a real journalist. And again, what are journalists now? I don't know, and it's probably because none of these people went to journalism school. But Dennis Prager goes on TV yesterday, and he says this, and I am just old enough to remember this. I'm going to play it for you, okay? Listen to this. This is what Dennis Prager, with a straight face, went on TV yesterday and said, okay? Here, are we streaming this? All right, please, folks, watch this. Just unbelievable. Watch this.
What she found funny was that she doesn't have a magic wand, but somebody in her party has a magic wand. The reason we're paying so much is because the magic wand of the Democratic president was to destroy the energy independence of the United States of America. With one magic wand, the man ruined our economy, ruined the ability of the lower.
Okay, first thing, the energy independence of America has never existed. We have been in league with OPEC for generations. We buy our oil from overseas. That is not energy independence. And he is on here pretending like we pull oil out of the ground in Texas and that goes right into a gas tank in Ohio. That is not true. The majority of the oil that we pull out of our own country goes into the strategic oil reserve, which is something that we don't touch. We buy oil from foreign sources and always have. That's why whenever the gas prices go up, people go, well, that's because of the bombing in the Middle East. If we were energy independent, if we were ever energy independent, that wouldn't be a case. But here he is. He's lying about that. But that's not the big lie.
Middle class to pay their energy bills, as in Germany, by the way. This is not just unique to the United States. Anywhere that you have people who are governed by fear of global warming, idiotic, irrational, sick fear
Here it comes.
Of extinction of the biosphere. I mean, do you understand the nonsense that we live with? Here
we go.
If we survive this as a free country, historians will just ask, how did this happen? How did people get governed by irrational fears? Whether it is of the non-vaccinated who are the pariahs of America, as I have not seen.
The non-vaccinated are the pariahs of America, which he has not seen. Let's continue.
In my lifetime, any pariah group like this. During the AIDS crisis, can you imagine if gay men and intravenous drug users, who were the vast majority of people with AIDS, had they been pariahs the way the non-vaccinated are?
Okay, so that's it. That this man, this old piece of shit, is trying to convince kids in their 30s who might vote for whatever crazy bullshit stuff he's pushing here, people who were not alive in the 80s. He is trying to pretend like in the 1980s that we, the American public, welcomed age patients, that we just brought them into our homes and we cared for them with our own we'd mop their heads. He is saying that people who are unvaccinated in 2021 are treated so badly. They are pariahs. We have never seen this in America. We're a group. And then he says, could you imagine if we treated AIDS patients in the 80s the way that we're treating the unvaccinated? I mean, maybe some of you are younger. Maybe some of you don't remember Ryan White. You know, if this is what he wants, does he want us to start treating people who are unvaccinated the way we treated people in the 80s who had AIDS? Is that what he's saying? Because, all right, I think it was terrible the way we treated people with AIDS in the 1980s, but okay, if you want to start treating unvaccinated people that way, this is a flat out lie. This is revisionist history. We treated people who were sick and dying of AIDS in the 80s like they were lepers. They had special wings of hospitals. Nurses and doctors were walking out. They wouldn't treat them. Ryan White, right? Just look up Ryan White. Ryan White was a little kid in Indianapolis who had AIDS, and he got AIDS from a blood transfusion, and people threw rocks at him, and the school board wouldn't allow him to come to school. They treated this poor little boy like he was a monster, and all he was sick. And this motherfucker is on TV trying to pretend like that never happened. Like we didn't treat people with AIDS like absolute garbage in their most desperate moments. Could you imagine if we had treated people with AIDS the way we're treating the unvaccinated? I mean, I'm sorry. The first wave of AIDS patients were treated like monsters from the deep. They weren't just pariahs. They were excluded from all aspects of this. Ryan White. We don't even, and by the way, I say Ryan White just because that's the most emotionally devastating individual from then. That's the one that always comes to mind because I was like a 15-year-old kid. And even I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This kid is just a little 8-year-old kid who got sick because of a hospital blood transfusion, and you're throwing rocks at him? He's trying to go to school, and all of these big fat Indianapolis hillbillies are signs, you're the devil, you're gonna burn in hell. This is how we treated a little boy who was sick and who died. I mean, of course he died because, that's what happened. But that's how we treated him. And now in 2021, we got Dennis Prager going up on some fucking made up news channel, Newsmax, acting like that didn't happen. And not only that, but using our treatment or his revisionist history of our treatment of AIDS patients as a way to show how badly we're treating the unvaccinated. Well, look, we're not treating the I don't care. At this point, I don't care. I'm past it. I don't want to have this war anymore. I don't want to have this fight. If you choose that you don't want to participate in the attempt to tamp down this disease, then that's a you thing, and that's fine. I'm vaccinated. I still wear my mask. I still wear my mask because I know a whole bunch of you people out there aren't vaccinated, and that's fine. I hang around with a lot of them. I know them. The whole neighborhood is filled with people who are probably not vaccinated. But please, don't pretend like we were a loving, caring, and decent society in our treatment of people who had AIDS in the 1980s, because we weren't. And that is a fucking flat out lie. And if you're a 30-year-old watching that on Newsmax because you're all glazed over and you weren't alive in the 1980s, you're going to put that in your memory bank and go, well, we treated AIDS people with great care and charm back in the 80s. No, we didn't. It was awful. It was terrible. It was one of the most embarrassing moments in modern American history, the way we reacted to people, other human beings, citizens who had a disease. I don't even know where to go now. That's pretty much. Kind of blew my wad on today's show. And you guys, truth and adherence to facts and what actually happened is not taking a side. I'm completely open about where I am on I'm not even on a political spectrum because I go both ways on issue. I take issues one at a time. But as far as my idealism, as far as being a human, as far as being somebody who actually wakes up every morning and tries to care about other people, as someone like that, Kellyanne Conway saying that we never had supply chain issues, and then Dennis Prager saying, could you imagine if we had treated AIDS patients the way we treat the non-vaccinated? I mean, I understand that there are a lot of people out there who hear that and go, yep, that's what I want to hear. I want to believe that we were wonderful people back in the good old days of the 1980s. And that's why they pass it on. And that's why it becomes a thing. And that's why future generations believe it's true. But you're a piece of shit. If you are only consuming news and information that already fits like a nice little puzzle piece into some bullshit that you want to believe, you're not being informed. That's what's known as a low information person. And again, I think Trump was a son of a bitch. I think he was a moron. I think Joe Biden is highly incapable of being a... I don't like either of these guys. I've been completely straightforward about that. We need to find something in the middle, like I always say, man. The far left, the crazy idiots who are burning down police stations, and the far right, the crazy idiots who are, believing that critical race theory is being taught to 10-year-olds. Those morons have far more in common with one another than either of those groups probably want to believe. They are both morons. They are this 10% and that 10%. They are both the percentage of Americans that are ruining everything for the rest of us, 80% that make up the gray middle. And the gray middle means, okay, so you're a lifelong Republican. God love you. You voted for Bush and Reagan is your hero and, all of that. That's great. But you're not all the way over there. You weren't setting fires in front of the Capitol on January 6th. And maybe you're a progressive. Maybe you're somewhere in the middle there. And you lean towards the left. You're in that 80% gray area towards the left. Maybe you think that, tranny's not a big deal and I don't give a shit about pronouns and what if you want to be gay, that's fine. Maybe that's where you are. You're not burning down police stations in Minneapolis. It is the 10% on both sides that are just fucking this whole thing up for the rest of us. And it's not being helped by these ghouls like Kellyanne Conway and Dennis Prager showing up on these made up news and information sources who are telling us flat out lies. Why? Because they're hoping that people watching won't remember. And if they don't remember, now they have this information. Oh, and I like the crazy lady from the Trump White House. Oh, so what she says has got to be true because she's on TV. Look, what I'm describing here is exactly why I don't do radio anymore. Because, when I stopped doing the kind of radio that I used to do, and I had a nice career. Went on for almost 2 decades in Chicago and in Dallas. It was more about us. It was a conversation about us. People. It was relationships. It was lifestyle. It was not, if you don't vote this way, you're destroying America. And then when that all went to shit, when the FM style of talk radio went under, I had plenty of opportunities. I had plenty of jobs that I could have taken. I could have gone to Miami and worked on a radio station down there that was a disgusting radio station. And I didn't take it. Because I couldn't, I knew I wouldn't be a success down there with my worldview. There was no way that I was going to be able to fit in between, yeah, man, we're going to put you between Rush Limbaugh and Glenn Beck. You're going to be great. I'm like, no, I'm fucking not going to be great. It's going to be awful. And then every other radio station in America, that's basically all that there was. And sports. And I always wanted to do sports, but I don't know, I just never pursued the whole sports thing. But that's why I do this, because I represent the 80% of us in the middle who honestly maybe don't give a shit enough. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's the 80% of us in the gray middle that really just kind of go, whatever. But we're allowing 20%, 10% on both wing, 20% wacko wing, 20% wacko wing. We're letting these people dictate the terms of how we live our lives in this country. I love this country. I love America. I love Thomas Jefferson. I'm a big Jefferson fan. But none of this shit that either of these people, these 10%, are talking about or wanting has anything even remotely to do with what our founding fathers wanted for this country. And you get Kellyanne Conway and Dennis Prager up there on TV doing all of this bullshit. Okay, I'm sorry. Boy, if there was a gray middle talk network where people could just admit that both sides are fucking nuts and that you don't have to take a side. You don't have to take a side. You don't. You can just take each issue as they come and not be confronted by an issue and go, hold on, I don't have an opinion on that one yet until I hear from Tucker. Hold on, I don't have an opinion on this yet until I can watch Rachel Maddow. There's nobody in the middle. There's absolutely nobody in the middle because I guess that's not exciting. I guess the truth, the truth and what's really happening and describing the way the world works, as fucked up as it is too complicated for the average person. It's not enough zing, not enough. Leslie says, I try to win hearts and minds with historical truth every day. It's tough in Southern Missouri. Well, here's the problem. I love you, Leslie. You know that. But you just can't engage. You cannot try to win. There is no winning in the middle. Being in the middle, we cannot turn to somebody and say, well, actually, that's not true. Because if you're in the 10% on the left or the 10% on the right, they're dug in and they don't know what truth is anymore because they've been lied to and spoon-fed things that they want to believe. Confirmation bias is a really big thing, and it has polluted the loudest and the most obnoxious of our society. They're the loudest. I am just so angry. You know, there was a thing here. Let me show you where we are. Oh boy, here we go. Oh no, Pugs is now going to look. Let me show you something that happened in New York yesterday. This was crazy. I wasn't even going to show this, but I'll pull it up for you. So apparently there's an issue with the sanitation workers in New York. I guess it's probably a vax thing, right? Nobody wants to be vaccinated in New York. You got to be vaccinated if you want to work for the city. So watch this. This was a gathering of sanitation workers in New York complaining about the vaccine mandates. And the dude on the mic just goes into a rant that 5 years ago would not have been socially acceptable, would not have been something that anybody would say because, I don't know, did we have more decency back then? I think, but we've just changed so Here, I'll share this with you. Here you go. Watch this guy.
Strong man.
Hold on. All right, so this is a sanitation worker, the leader of the sanitation workers in New York. This is his little rant yesterday. This is what we've become. This is how we are degenerating as a society.
This is our time to make a difference. I'm not going to be coming over here and wasting my time just talking. So I need men. If you're a man, raise your damn hand right now. Raise your hand high if you're a damn man. We lead the charge. I'm tired of seeing women getting up here on the mic and talking like shit is going to happen.
Tired of seeing women.
Things are not going to happen until strong men decide we're not going to take this anymore.
Okay.
Like shit is going to happen.
Let me point something out. All right, so you got these two women right here. They're turning away. They're like, oh, geez, here he goes. And then look, there's a number of, I suppose, semi-normal people who just decide to check out of the speech. They just start to walk away from this guy.
Things are not going to happen until strong men decide we're not going to take this anymore. Fuck the trucks. Fucking listen to me. I'm fucking talking.
Ooh, okay.
Y'all didn't do nothing last week when the trucks were coming through. So leave the damn trucks alone. Either we make a difference for the future generations, or we get it up the behind.
Okay, so, all right. So my dude there, he's tired of women coming up there on the microphone and not doing anything. The only way shit's gonna change is if strong men, apparently he left out angry, pissed off, volatile, in terribly poor control of their emotions. If strong men don't get I'm watching some like, whoa. Okay, so now we're going back like 100 years. Are we going to take the women's vote away from them? Is that the next step? Is that something that is perfectly acceptable to now say on a microphone in this world where everything is videotaped? Everything is. I mean, somebody's got the receipts on that guy. If that guy ever tries. Well, I don't know. I was going to say, if that guy ever tries to run for any kind of office, they're going to pull this video, but I don't even know if that's a detriment anymore. That might be a reason why he gets elected. So, look, strong men, personally, you see the guys who raised their hand there? I feel like I could kick the shit out of every one of those so-called strong men who raised their hand. Bunch of old fat guys. And I'm a pussy. I am, for the most part, a pussy. But these strong men, raise your hand. I did also appreciate that there was a whole bunch of dudes there that didn't raise their hand that were not down with that line. But I mean, come on. I'm tired of women getting up here. That's a guy who hits on a girl, and when she's not interested, he calls her a lesbian. That's that guy. That's who that guy is. And he has been emboldened in this new world. Why? Because you got the crazy 10% on the right and you got the crazy 10% on the left, and they're making all the rules now. And the 80% of us that are stuck in the middle, we don't get to say shit about it because we're just going to work every day. We're taking care of our kids. We're trying to navigate the obstacles that are suddenly placed in our path. It's not like we didn't have obstacles in our path before all this nonsense, but now they're even bigger. They're more dangerous. All right, you know what? I need a topical sorbet. I need a little something that is going to get me off of that. But again, triggered? Yeah. Pretty triggered. Pretty freaking triggered by Dennis Prager. And could you imagine if we treated could you imagine if we treated people with AIDS in the 1980s the way that we're treating the unvaccinated today? Stop it. You know where I'll meet you, Dennis Prager? I'll say that, yeah, maybe some people are being a little bit rough on the unvaccinated. Maybe there are some people who need to have a little bit more understanding that not a lot of people are comfortable with just putting stuff in their bodies. I have a few questions regarding that, but that is not going to help the conversation. So, and also the whole my body, my choice. My body, my choice. Okay, but let's be intellectually consistent about that. Okay? Isn't in fact your body, your choice? Because you don't seem to have that attitude when it comes to women's reproductive rights. That seems to be where you don't really give a shit about my body, my rights. Oh boy, Pugs is going deep left. I'm getting pulled to the left here. See, if E was here, if E wasn't down sick, he could probably rein me back in. And certainly if James was here, I would be a little bit more, I don't know, nice about it all. All right, let's see what else is trending. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about Paul Gosar. No, I don't care that guy's trending. Oh, Ilhan Omar. I'm not going to talk about her either. She's trending. Are you kidding me? Couple of morons. Hatch Act. Nope, not going into that. Adam Schiff. No, have no interest in discussing Adam Schiff. Little Adam. Isn't that what they used to call him? I'll tell you. I give Trump credit for the fact that he could really demoralize a dude. He could zone right in on what their most vulnerable aspect of their appearance, typically appearance was. He could just zero right in on that. And then when it was thrown back at him, he didn't care, because there's a lot to make fun about that guy, but he didn't care. He was Teflon, didn't give a shit. Pfizer CEO, that guy's trending. That's not going to be anything we're going to want to talk about. Max Cleland, we don't want to talk about that guy either. That's more politics. Kellyanne Conway, well, we already did that. Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston's a pro wrestler. He's trending right now. We could talk about that, but I don't know anything about pro wrestling. I really don't. desperately seeking a topical sorbet here. Let's see here. Serbia is trending. Oh, you know why? Because last night. Hey, yeah, my boy Grego. Remember Grego, the Hammer from the Ticket, legendary Dallas broadcaster. My guy Grego, he tweeted out last night during the Monday Night Football game where my Bears were playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He tweeted out, "I hope somebody's checking on Pugs." He didn't need to do that. I had a very good night last night. I was perfectly comfortable with the outcome of the game. I will never, ever, ever be one of these guys. Whoa, the refs, they stole the game from us. I'm not that guy, even if it's true, even if it's completely true, and even if the name of the ref is actually trending today, but I ain't touching that. No, what I saw last night was an incredible, wonderfully, what would I say? I saw a great performance by my baby quarterback, my little baby rookie quarterback who we decided this season was not going to be a season where we were going to win a whole lot. So why not throw the kid out there and let him take his lumps in his first year and see what he can do? And my baby quarterback showed exactly why we were all so excited when we drafted him. My baby quarterback led his team to a go-ahead touchdown inside 2 minutes on Monday Night Football in a hostile-ass environment. Nobody wants to play in Pittsburgh on Monday nights. Those people were crazy. You couldn't hear anything. But what did my little baby quarterback do? My little baby quarterback dug in and he drove his team down the field for a go-ahead touchdown inside 2 minutes. Of course, the other team had Ben Roethlisberger. 2 minutes is a lot of time on the clock. So we lost, but that's okay. When you got a baby quarterback and you're watching him develop and you're watching, you have hopes for what the team will be 2, 3, 4 years down the road. Not this year. Nobody thinks my Bears are going to be anything. What we did was last night with the Justin Fields flow chart, we checked some boxes. We went, okay, look at that. He didn't crumble under pressure. In fact, he rose to the pressure. He was everything that we wanted him to be. He was everything that we saw in that big Clemson game 2 years ago when Ohio State went into Clemson and beat the snot out of them. That was a big stage too. So my boy Soldier Fields made us all happy. And my bullies kicked the snot out of the Brooklyn Nets last night. They won by like 30 points. So it wasn't a terrible night. So I appreciate Grego thinking that someone needed to check on me, but nah, I was fine. Now, if my boy Justin Fields had tried to lead the team downfield on Monday Night Football and it was a 3 and out or he threw a pick or something, yeah, then I wouldn't be feeling this way. But he didn't. He marshaled his team and he got them downfield. He was so there you go. But also in sports last night, apparently there was a big fight between was this in Denver? I'm guessing Jokic. One of the Jokic brothers, Nikolai Jokic. I don't know which one it was. But there was a fight. I wasn't really paying attention to it. We don't need to go into it. Anyway, there was not a fight, but there were some hard fouls between a couple of players, and there was shit talking, and now there's beef. There's beef between a couple of players in the NBA. I don't have enough of the story to really go into it. And it's not trending the way I thought it would. I saw Serbia, and so I just kind of assumed that Frank Gore. Okay. Oh, Frank Gore is trending. NFL legend Frank Gore. Frank Gore is a boxer now. His first fight was just announced against former NBA star Darren Williams. Oh, the Colony's own Darren Williams, former Fighting Illini star. 3rd pick in the draft. About 2011, maybe 2010, somewhere back there. Ended his career with the Mavs in his hometown. So Frank Gore is going to fight Darren Williams. Darren Williams is like 6'8". That's going to be a funny looking fight because isn't Frank Gore like a little bowling ball? I don't know. Here it is. Nikola Jokic and Markieff Morris were both ejected from the game last night after the two exchanged hard fouls. And then they just went on to talk shit about each other all over, we did the Dean Stockwell. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, there's really nothing else here left for us to talk about. Let me dig into the chat room, see what's happening with you folks. All right, we'll go back a little bit. Dustin Seeley says we still treat AIDS patients poorly compared to other countries that have national healthcare programs, free treatment in the UK. Didn't Lady Diana completely freak everyone out by touching a child with AIDS? Yeah, she did. That was, but you know what else? Here's the thing. Okay, so I could talk about this for a couple of minutes. So I recently saw that movie, the Jessica Chastain movie, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, which is the story of Tammy Faye Baker. Now, when the movie was released months ago, I went on a little bit of a rant about how I'm a little defensive about Tammy Faye Baker, because when I was a young producer, I had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with Tammy Faye. Tammy Faye Baker was in the mid-90s the host of a daytime talk show. And for some reason, my host, Kevin Matthews, the guy I produced, was just enamored with the talk show. It was her and Jim J. Bullock, and he loved the show. And so we talked about it every day. So consequently, Tammy Faye Baker made herself available to become a regular on our show. And she would come in studio and she would call us on the phone. And I had an opportunity to spend some time with Tammy Faye Baker, in green rooms and making sure she was taken care of, and then just sitting there and talking to her and pre-interviewing her and letting her know what we're going to talk about. And I said this when we were first talking about this movie, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I love Tammy Faye Baker. I absolutely love that woman. There are very few people in this world that I have ever met who just conveyed a sense of kindness, sweetness, and look, you know me, I can be cynical, right? I mean, and why I am so ardently defensive of Tammy Faye Baker is because before that moment, I was probably pretty mean. I was pretty much, the sight unseen Tammy Baker, the one that we saw on TV, married to the scumbag husband who was the creeper preacher and all that stuff. Little Tammy Faye, she's a joke with her makeup and all that kind of stuff. And then as like a 25, 26-year-old kid, I'm actually sitting with this woman and I'm seeing how sweet she is and how kind she is and how nice she is and how wonderful she is. And so I watched the movie. We've established I'm already a fan. So I watched the movie The Eyes of Tammy Faye, starring Andrew Garfield as Jim Baker, the old Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield as Jim Baker and Jessica Chastain as Tammy Faye. And I loved this movie. I mean, if you are tuning into this movie to just make fun of the crazy lady with all the makeup, you are going to be disappointed, because they made a movie that echoes absolutely what my impression of Tammy Faye was. Just super sweet, a little dumb, kind of naive, didn't really, very, very sheltered upbringing, grew up in the woods of Minnesota, didn't really know much about the outside world. But when she jumped into the outside world, she jumped into it with her arms out, hugging everybody, loving everybody. So why am I talking about this movie? Why did Princess Diana touching an AIDS patient in the 80s create such a big deal? Because there's a scene that people don't remember. One of the big problems that occurred in the marriage of Tammy Faye Baker and Jim Baker was Tammy Faye's embrace of homosexuals and the AIDS crisis. She really did. You can find these videos on YouTube. The show they used to do every night was called PTL Club with Tammy and Jim Baker. And Tammy would just go wildcatting and book AIDS patients to be interviewed on the show. And it would really cause big problems. And there's a very famous scene where she's talking to an AIDS patient and she's being so empathetic and so loving and so completely different from what you would expect one of these Christian Bible thumper preachers on TV to have been towards AIDS patients. And she makes some statement, so I just wish I could hug you right now. And it was so pure and so real. And because I have this sort of personal remembrance of how she was in real life, it wasn't fake. That was really just her. She really did just care about people. And her whole bit with Jesus was that, Jesus loved everybody. Jesus, as a matter of fact, she had this quote from the movie that she used a couple of times in the film. Jessica Chastain is so great as her too. One of the quotes was whenever like Jerry Falwell was ranting about homosexuals and all of that, Tammy Faye said, Well, I believe that God and Jesus are responsible for all of us. So what are you saying, that God makes mistakes? Like homosexuals? And I've used that like twice in arguments since then, since seeing this movie last week. I've used that argument twice. It's just such a great line. So yeah, Tammy Faye Baker was another one in the 1980s that was actually really kind and really loving and really understanding and just a human being towards people who were suffering from what at the time was a disease that nobody understood. Nobody understood AIDS. I mean, AIDS was a death sentence. Not only was it a death sentence, but if you were in the same zip code as someone with AIDS, you were going to get it and you were going to die. That's honestly how I remember. I was a teenager. I remember my mom was very concerned about it, that we didn't know anything about it. And then like in 1992, Magic Johnson, who says that he's got HIV and everybody freaks out. And here we are 50 years later and Magic Johnson is seen, dunking still, warming up with the Lakers. So thankfully they've made, great strides with this disease. But in the 1980s, people did not understand it. We didn't understand it. It's no knock on people. There was no understanding of it. It was a new disease that just popped up out of nowhere. Let's see here. What else do we have? Let's look. Leslie, Lady Diana. We talked about her. She was good with it. Jeff Glenn is Jeff Glenn. I love you, Jeff. I don't want to go into it. I'm sticking with my 10% of crazy on both sides. We don't need to needlessly be poking one side over the other. I have no interest in that. Shit talking times 1,000. All right. You know what I'm going to do? Here. I'm going to, we'll look at one more set of trends because it's always easy for me to look at the Twitter trends because I have Twitter up during the show. But let's see what the Google trends are saying. Let's run through some of these and see if there's anything. Well, okay, trending number one. We already talked about it. Frank Gore and Darren Williams are going to fight. Young and the Restless. Young and the Restless is trending. It's a soap opera. I can't believe soap operas are still a thing. How is it that my mom, God bless her, she still records her General Hospital every day and she watches them every day. She's probably seen every episode of General Hospital that has aired since 1969. I don't even know how long that show is, but boy, oh boy, they've got. Do young people like? Do 15-year-old girls? I guess it was big in college. People first started getting into like the soap operas when they were in college, when they had like maybe an hour or two to spare during the day, because in high school you're in class, so you're not really able to watch it. But I remember when I was in college, the big soap opera was Days of Our Lives. Everybody was into Days of Our Lives, and even I, because I was dating a girl who was like super into Days of Our Lives, I started watching it. I don't remember what the storyline there was, but there was a brief period of time where NBC's Days of Our Lives was like a really big soap opera. That's been off for 10 years. Young and the Restless apparently is still on. General Hospital is still on. I wonder why none of the streaming services haven't tried to get into that. You know what I mean? Like, why isn't there a Netflix soap opera? Like, and I don't mean like, well, of course, their soap opera has turned into sort of an overall term for, romance, intrigue, mystery, backstabby sort of storylines. Primetime soap operas are a thing. They'll always be a thing. But, like daytime soap operas, how they just have a look about them. They look different. There's like, I think it was because they were filmed on video as opposed to film, because they crank them out every day, and video was cheaper to produce than film. Film was expensive. If you recorded all these shows on film, that's your budget's going crazy. So that's why soap operas kind of had a different look. Like Dallas looked a certain way. Dallas, a nighttime soap opera, that was on film. That was it looked more, I don't want to say grainy, but a little bit more like a movie. To the eye, it looked more, deeper and more darker and more like a movie. Whereas General Hospital always looked like the Ellen Show, like where it's a little bit brighter, and that's the difference between film and video. I like, why couldn't like Hulu or something produce a daily soap opera? Well, probably Pugs because, those shows aren't time dependent, and soap operas really existed because they were designed for the housewife who was home during the day. That's why they were called soap operas. Did you know that? Because they sold soap. They sold soap during commercials. That was the origin of the soap opera. It was a way to sell housewives who were sitting on the couch eating bonbons, laundry detergent. So they became soap operas. I'm kidding. Eating bonbons. That's just a little throwback swat at the way we treated women back then. That's probably true, though. I mean, when you're not going to eat something while you're sitting on the couch? Okay, maybe it specifically wasn't bonbons, but, the nation's housewives took a break during the day for a couple hours to watch their soap operas, and I'm sure they ate something. SpaceX is trending. SpaceX returns 4 astronauts to Earth, ending a 200-day flight. Good for them. Xfinity, we talked about that. Comcast begins restoring service to thousands of Xfinity customers from coast to coast. I know I went off on a rant on Time Warner, which is what I've had to deal with here in Dallas from time to time. But Xfinity, I love Xfinity. I thought Xfinity was really good. Don't get my mom started. Especially today, my mom's probably just livid about the outages. But boy, oh boy, I love the Xfinity X1 platform. And in fact, I still use the Xfinity X1 platform because my mom still has it, and I just tap into it online, and so I can watch all of the things on Xfinity. I got her password, so I like Xfinity. Although Xfinity cable hasn't been out all day, at least not to my knowledge. So this might be just more of an internet. I mean, I'm watching Xfinity right now on my TV. My little laptop that always has news on in case of breaking news. That's I'm watching it off the Xfinity link. So the TV's been working. I guess it's just internet service. Dean Stockwell, okay. Republican Party is trending, not going there. Something about LSU women's basketball, not going there. Seattle, there was a power outage, I guess, in Seattle. Power outages, down trees, hit Puget Sound region amid severe winds. Tens of thousands of people affected. Okay, power outage, that sucks. College basketball is trending. Andy Murray, he's trending. Andy Murray, he's a tennis player. That's all I know. We're not going to go in more. Emily Ratakowski is trending as well. All right. Hey, Pugs, now you're interested? Yeah, I am. Emily Ratakowski is a model. She's it's probably like the only model that I can name. She's most famous. Do you remember the Robin Thicke Usher song, Blurred Lines? Yeah, it was a huge song like a couple of years ago. Like massive #1 hit. The song was every year. Probably 10 years ago now. I don't know. It's been a while. But so they wrote the song Blurred Lines, and Emily Ratakowski was the girl in the video. Apparently she was topless or something. I don't know. I don't remember. And that song ended up getting, boy, oh boy, all the proceeds, all the money that was made off of that song. They got. Apparently, they stole that hook from a Marvin Gaye song. So the Marvin Gaye estate went, no. Here, let me play this for you, and then let's play the song that you're making all this money off of. Tell me if you don't see something in common. So a whole bunch of the money from that actually ended up going to the Marvin Gaye estate. Emily Ratakowski is trending because... why Emily Ratakowski initially didn't want to write about her Blurred Lines experience. Well, here she is a bunch of years later. She feels like she was a little sexually exploited. She feels she's not comfortable with it. She says she was a young model. She was a young performer, and it was a big opportunity to work with 2 huge stars in the music industry, and Usher and Robin Thicke. I guess Robin Thicke was a huge star. Is he really? I mean, I don't know. It's not exactly Mick Jagger, right? Usher, I get. Usher's if he never did anything else than that song, Usher's like, but Robin Thicke, I don't really know. He's always going to be Alan Thicke's kid to me. So she felt sexually, KFC is trending. Why is KFC trending today? Well, I'll tell you, and I'm glad that you asked. KFC is trending because it's National Fried Chicken Sandwich Day. So go on out there and get yourself a fried chicken sandwich. KFC, McDonald's, Burger King. Hey, remember before the world went to shit, the greatest thing that had ever happened to humanity was Popeye's chicken sandwich. Do you remember that? Yeah, that was just before the coronavirus. I think it was Popeye's rolled out a chicken sandwich. Now, I like Popeye's chicken. Don't get me wrong. Although I haven't been to a Popeye since I saw that viral video that was circulating about a month ago now. Do you know the one I'm talking about? Rats. There was some dude who worked at a Popeyes. Apparently it was his last day, and he decided that he was going to tank the company stock, and he just filmed a rat infestation in his Popeyes restaurant. And even though it's like hundreds and hundreds of miles away from the Popeyes that I go to, I still haven't been back to the Popeyes. But the chicken sandwich was really good. The chicken sandwich at Popeyes was really good. I was prepared to not like it. I was prepared to think that the hype was all bullshit, but turns out I liked it. It was a damn fine chicken sandwich. Congratulations to you, Popeyes. You did it. In my estimation, you made the best chicken sandwich out there. Although that's not true, because there's a place in Chicago called Portillo's that actually had a chicken sandwich that I felt was better, but hey, whatever. Oh, Portillo's, we talked about that too. Portillo's is coming to Frisco next year, so you'll be able to get the Portillo's chicken sandwich. So it looks to me here like they're ranking the chicken sandwiches. Let's see what we got here. This could be fun. This is a nice light way for us to end a show that has been needlessly provocative in ways that I've been desperately trying to avoid, but once again, I don't think I was being politically divisive. I think I was just speaking truth. National Fried Chicken Sandwich Day is Tuesday, and McDonald's, Burger King, and KFC have deals. Okay, so I'm not really familiar with the Burger King chicken sandwich. I mean, I feel like I was familiar with the Burger King chicken sandwich of like 15 years ago or 20 years ago, but I don't go to a lot of Burger Kings. And it's not because I have an issue with Burger King. In fact, the Double Whopper with cheese, I think, is a very good hamburger. The Double Whopper with cheese, every once in a while, boy, I'm telling you, that hits different than other burgers. It's a damn good burger. But their chicken sandwich, I seem to remember their chicken sandwich was kind of like what is that? A rectangle? What is that? Something like that. And it was like it's on a longer bun. And I remember it not necessarily being what I would consider to be actual chicken. Tasted more like a chicken loaf. Like maybe if they had taken a chicken McNugget from McDonald's and just pounded it out and made it long and then breaded it and put it on a long bun. No. As opposed to the Popeyes chicken sandwich, which I think we can all agree was real chicken. That was a real, you got the feeling you're eating a real chicken breast. Pugs, how do you feel about the McChicken? I feel strongly about the McChicken. I think that the McChicken, especially the one that they offer on the $1 menu deal at McDonald's, I think it's $1.27. That is a damn fine chicken sandwich. And just over the weekend, it's my son's personal choice. You want to know why I love my kid? Let me count the ways. I mean, look, there's a whole bunch of different ways that I love my kid. So we're at McDonald's and we're ordering on the app, and I got it pulled up, which is a crazy new way to go to McDonald's. I haven't been in a McDonald's in like a year. You sit at home, you got the McDonald's app, and the McDonald's app is great because they give you free stuff with it, from time to time. And you build up points, and once you get so many points, then you get like free stuff, more free stuff. It's good. And they have deals on the McDonald's app that you can't get anywhere else. Like, I'll give you an example. One of the static deals that is always there on the McDonald's app is like 2 Big Macs for the price of 1. Ooh, I'm telling you, when McDonald's in years past, they used to do the whole thing where it was like, okay, the promotion this month is you buy 1 Big Mac, get a second one for free. And that was a big deal. And you used to have to wait. Like, it would only happen like maybe once or twice a year where they do it. Well, not with the app. You got the McDonald's app. That's every day. You can get 1 Big Mac and you get another one for free if you order it through the app. But the chicken sandwiches is my kid's favorite. And so I pulled up the app, and, they got a deluxe chicken sandwich for like, I don't know, $3-4. It looks like a good sandwich. And then they got just the regular chicken sandwich on the $1 menu for $1.27. My kid prefers the regular one. I'm like, really? You don't want the deluxe? He looks me dead in the eye and he goes, yeah, I don't like deluxe. All right. He likes the cheaper chicken sandwich. So he got a couple of those. And I actually got a couple of the deluxe ones because, I'm not obviously as smart as he is. I like the lettuce. I like the lettuce that apparently costs $2, adds $2 to the price. The Chicken Sandwich Wars of 2021 will heat up for National Fried Chicken Sandwich Day this Tuesday, which is today. Fast food chains, including McDonald's, Burger King, and KFC, have specials for the made-up food holiday held annually on November the 9th. McDonald's released 3 new chicken sandwiches in February, and Burger King rolled out its King chicken sandwich in June. KFC also added a new chicken sandwich this year. All right. Want to get me started on KFC? You get me started on KFC. 1, KFC original recipe is far superior to the extra crispy. 2, KFC original recipe is delicious. I mean, if we're talking about fried chicken, you're going to say you can have endless amounts of any fried chicken you want. I'm picking KFC. I want a bucket of KFC original recipe, and I will eat that entire bucket because 3, where is KFC getting these mutant chickens? Have you ever seen the size of a chicken breast at KFC? It's like a pigeon. It's like the size of a freaking pigeon. Wait, have you ever seen a Popeyes chicken breast next to a KFC chicken breast? The Popeyes chicken breast is like 3 times the size of the KFC chicken. Chicken breast. So I don't know what's going on there. So again, recapping. 1, original recipe is far superior to crispy at KFC. 2, original recipe is the best tasting, flavorful of all the chicken brands. 3, it's not worth it. So just go to another chicken restaurant because the chicken is so small. KFC's chicken is tiny. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know what they're doing. They're torturing these chickens. They're making sure that they don't grow big. I have no idea, but just, and that's why you get a bucket and you eat the entire bucket and you feel fat. You feel like a loser. You feel like a glutton, but don't, because you just ate like tiny itty bitty pieces of chicken. That's enough on my chicken rant for KFC. Again, delicious, but so small and not worth it. The major chicken sandwich, sign up. Let's see. What do you get here? Chick-fil-A is also, you forget about Chick-fil-A. Oh God, I love Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches have always been a top tier chicken sandwiches. One of the finest of the chicken sandwich choices. And pro tip, Chick-fil-A offers a sauce flavor that I can't find anywhere else, and it's the only reason that I go to Chick-fil-A. I'll go out of my way to go to Chick-fil-A because of their Polynesian sauce. I don't know what this is. Actually, I think it's just like sweet and sour sauce, but it is so good. It is like the best of the sauces. So I get a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A, and then I pour the Polynesian sauce on it. And, ooh, baby. Popeyes is good. I love you know what I like about Popeyes? I like their mashed potatoes and gravy deal that they got there at Popeyes. A little spicy, but it's good. The chicken too, a little spicy and crispy, good, big pieces. Not as flavorful as KFC, but bigger, but not as flavorful. Look, you want to fight me on it? I'll knife fight you. I'll die on this hill. This is one I love fried chicken. I have been up and down this block with Ben better than you. Come on. Come at me, bro. The nation's chicken wars and cravings for comfort food during the pandemic have made poultry so scarce and expensive that some restaurants have to limit chicken sandwiches, wings, and tenders. Others have made changes to the menu and promotions. The next poultry conflict could be finding your Thanksgiving turkey. All right, does it have some deals? Burger King is here's the deal. Okay. Burger King Royal Perks members, you got to join a Burger King club. I go to Burger King once every 15 years. I got to join a burger. I got to waste phone app space in my phone downloading a Burger King app so that I can get whatever this deal is. Burger King Royal Perks members get a free Chicken Original, Spicy, or Deluxe with any purchase of $3 or more. Okay, that's not bad. Get a free chicken sandwich. All you got to do is spend more than $3. That's fine. Chick-fil-A, here's what they're going to give you for National Eat a Chicken Sandwich Day. Chick-fil-A, get a free peppermint chip milkshake. Chick-fil-A doesn't have a National Fried Chicken Sandwich Day offer. The chain shared with USA Today, but some locations may have specials on Tuesday. Plus, you can earn rewards. This is just an ad for their new peppermint milkshake. I'm down. I love peppermint. I love Shamrock shakes. A Whataburger. Whataburger also has a mint chocolate chip ice cream milkshake. I don't know if it's still there. It was a special like a month ago. Very good. Very good. Hey, I don't think I've ever had a chicken sandwich at Whataburger. You know why? Because their burgers are so good. I wouldn't like waste my time on anything other than I go to Whataburger so infrequently because first of all, it'll take you a month to get in and out of there. Slowest drive-through in the history of drive-thrus, but damn, the burgers are good. Church's Chicken released its new Texas cut bacon chicken sandwich last week and is giving it away free Tuesday with DoorDash orders of 20 or more. I gotta spend $20 on DoorDash. Then you got a tip. That's a stupid one. And by the way, I understand why people might want to use DoorDash when they're getting Church's fried chicken, because for some reason, and now maybe it's just me because I grew up on the south side of Chicago, but for some reason, Church's fried chickens are always in the sketchiest of neighborhoods. They are not, I have never been to a Church's fried chicken and felt safe in that drive-thru. I have always had to lock the doors. I don't know what the hell's going on. There's probably not a Church's in North Park, is what I'm talking about. Del Taco. I don't think we have those here. So let's skip that. KFC Fried Chicken Sandwich Day freebie. Kentucky Fried Chicken is celebrating National Fried Chicken Day with free chicken sandwiches on Uber Eats with a minimum 15 to see. Again, I don't want to have to get my food delivered. I'm not going to buy $15 worth of... You know what, folks? Just go to McDonald's. Just get the app on McDonald's. It's $1.27 for their classic McChicken sandwich every day of the week. And it's a damn fine chicken sandwich. All right, that's all I got. Look at that. See, I thought that I was going to cut the show short. I thought that I wasn't going to be able to talk all by myself, but look at me, just spewing and spewing and spewing. Here we are. We got 5 minutes, and I got more stuff that I want to talk about. Pokemon, that's trending. That ain't one of the things I want to talk about. Trust me. Haiti, Kamala Harris, nope. Summer League, nope. Yeah, I guess that's it. All right, I guess we're pretty much done. No, you know what? Let's try one more. Why not? Let's run through the wall. Just because it's 55 minutes after the hour and I pledge to go to 2 o'clock every day, that doesn't mean that we just limp across the finish line. We're going to crash right through the wall. Oh, yeah, and look at this. All right, so now I'm looking. Let's see what MSM trends. What's going on with MSN trends today? What are people talking about there? Not touching the Kyle Rittenhouse story. Nope, we ain't going into that. Oh, Senate Republicans is trending. Not going there. Adam Schiff, not going there. Comcast internet outage. We've already covered that. That's the whole Xfinity thing. United will stop flying to 11. Oh, okay. This is interesting. United Airlines, they're trending now. This popped up in the last 15 minutes, it says here. United will stop flying to 11 U.S. cities indefinitely. Oh, what cities aren't they flying to? United Airlines is dropping 11 routes to small cities from its hubs in Houston, Denver, and Chicago. The small communities are getting cut due to changes in long-term sustainability. Okay, what cities are going to get dropped? You don't want to go to these cities. Oh my God. Oh, well, here's one you might want to go to. All right, United, they ain't going to Kalamazoo or Battle Creek, Michigan anymore. Forget about it. Battle Creek is the cereal capital of the world. It's where they make. Isn't that where Kellogg's is? I want to say that's where they make all the cereals. Kalamazoo. What do I know about Kalamazoo? I've been to Kalamazoo. I don't know nothing about it. That ought to tell you about Kalamazoo. That, it's a place that I've actually been in. Yeah, I got nothing for you. College Station, Texas. Yeah, all right. College Station will no longer have United service from Houston, though it will still be served by American from Dallas-Fort Worth. So if you still need to go to College Station for an A&M game or something like that, you can get down there. Columbia, Missouri will no longer be serviced. Mosinee, Wisconsin. Mosinee is losing its United service from Chicago, but will keep Delta routes from Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Detroit. I have spent, okay, so the states that I've spent the most time in, list. Here's a list for you kids, because I'm sure this is fascinating to you. Illinois, I've spent the most time in. That's where I was born and raised, and I grew up. Texas, as the second one, lived here over a decade, and now I'm living here again, so I've definitely spent more time here. And then it's like Wisconsin and Michigan, and I have never heard of Mosinee, Wisconsin. I've been all over the state of Wisconsin. I actually love the state of Wisconsin. What an amazingly underrated state. And I'll tell you, the people up there, They want you to keep underrating them because they don't really need you up there. They like what they got going. Rolling beautiful hills, deep, thick, lush forests, lakes everywhere, water sports. They don't want you coming. But I've never heard of Mosinee, Wisconsin. Never. Evansville, Indiana. No reason to ever go to Evansville. No reason to ever go to Indiana. There really isn't. Actually, there's a really good steakhouse in Indianapolis, but that's about it. Lansing, Michigan. Michigan State. That's another. No, I've been to Ann Arbor. That's it. I was confused. I've been to University of Michigan. I've been to Ann Arbor. Never been to Lansing. All right. Here's one for us. Monroe, Louisiana. You'll no longer be able to fly to Monroe, Louisiana, Pierre, South Dakota, Waterloo, South Dakota, Twin Falls, Idaho. None of these places are anywhere that anybody wants to go. And it's 2:00. We did it. Look at me. I hope you're proud of me. I'm kind of proud of myself. I think I did something nice here. I think I was able to do the entire show by myself. And let me tell you something. It ain't easy. It ain't something I'm necessarily comfortable with. But Emil is sick. He bailed out very early on in today's show because I want to make sure that I want him to come back for the Pillow Talk show because I like him when he's on the pillow. I like the sunglasses incarnation, but just a word to the wise, he probably won't be back with us for Pillow Talk either because he looks really sick. Okay, we're going to do this. Bear with me. Bear with me, my friends. You know what's coming. That's right. We made it. Very proud. All right. James is going to be with us tonight on the Pillow Talk edition, so it's not just going to be me screaming into a camera alone in my guest house. There'll actually be someone to do a little give and take with. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. Prayers up for our boy E. He's not feeling well. He did not look good. But if I'm being honest, he has really been burning the candle at both ends. This dude works so hard at nothing. He doesn't even have a job, but he's just constantly on the go, starting at like 6:00 in the morning with he does the carpool, and then he goes to like his art gallery and he putters around there, and then he's in football practice for the kid, and then this and that. And every night he's up, and this is not a normal thing, but just in the last week, a Rolling Stones concert, Toadies concert, high school fair on Friday night, football game. Oh my God, it's no wonder his body's giving up on him. He needs a day to rest. So prayers up to E. Maybe he'll be back for Pillow Talk. Will you be back for Pillow Talk? That's the question. The question is, will you be back? Will you tell friends? All right. John Hinckley, that's who we're listening to. You know this by now. I see all the same faces. All right, folks, we'll see you tonight at 9:00 Central Time for the Pillow Talk edition. Bye-bye, everybody. Appreciate you hanging with me. Sorry for whatever the hell this was today. But, it's going to be that from time to time. Roses and lace, they are meant for you. May peace be with you every day in every kind of way. May good things come into your life to have a blessed day. This can be the start of something.